We did it.
We did it in here.
Ow, fuck. Welcome back to Misfits and Tidbits. I hope you enjoyed this last month. Is this gonna be?
Mm-hmm.
So, the last 4 episodes. This is the 4th.
This is our 4th.
We're being, a little tribute to Black History Month.
Mm-hmm. Which, to be clear, we're not gonna stop doing topics about Black history after this month is over. But it just seemed necessary and totally prevalent for us to do it now and to put the focus there and to hopefully encourage y'all to go out and learn about other stuff that has to do with Black history, get involved, call your representatives, demand justice for Black folks, fucking end the prison industrial complex.
Yeah.
All the stuff.
Well, yeah, welcome back this fine Monday.
I was like,
It's not.
I don't know what day it is, but I don't think that's right.
It is. It's Monday.
Monday.
Totally Monday. If you're unfamiliar, I'm Ethan, and this is the Junie of House Tooney. And Junie will be teaching us about something new.
You're going to say learning us?
I was going to say learning it. Can't stop saying that in my head. What are we learning today?
We're learning about some fun stuff. I thought it would be super great to bring some queer love into this and to talk about some other issues outside of just Black history because, Black history played a huge role in LGBTQIA plus history. So thought that it'd be super awesome if we did an episode on Marsha P. Johnson.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, I think you do.
Probably.
But
you're probably right.
Yeah.
As we know, I don't remember most things.
Yes.
So, especially names, I could not.
We should face each other a little bit more because I feel like that'll just help our conversation. Okay, perfect. The camera does not need to see you even a little bit.
No.
I mean, it definitely needs to see me.
Okay, let's adjust this back just a little bit. Okay.
I want to maybe scoot a little bit closer. I think that he wants it closer. I don't know.
Closer.
Pretend like we like each other.
You. Bless you.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. Tell me about Martha. You say Martha?
Marsha.
Mm-hmm. That was close.
Yes. So, my disclaimer at the top of this episode, I have a couple. The first being if I do get anything wrong or if there's anything that I missed that is super important to this topic, please feel free to send us an email at hello@mntpodcast.com. The other disclaimer that I have is that Wikipedia said that Marsha never self-identified as a trans woman. So I will be using she, her pronouns throughout this research, but because that's what every other source used, but she actually never self-identified, and a lot of sources actually said that she probably more closely identified with gender non-conforming. I don't know, that's how she like would have identified her. That's who she was. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't really a common or acknowledged identification at that point. So, I will be using she, her pronouns. They, them is probably a little bit more accurate. And also, fun little tidbit, Wikipedia didn't gender her at all, except in one sentence I found that they actually gendered her, which was interesting. But the rest of the time they called her Johnson the whole way through, or Marsha P. Johnson or whatever. But
so I mean, it's an easy way to not misgender the person you're writing about, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it starts sounding just like because language, we use pronouns so much in language, it sounds a little bit off. But, we use she, her, they, them, he, him all the time in our sentences,
Yeah. What time period does this take place in?
1945 through the 90s.
Wow. It's a much longer span.
I mean, it's her life.
Well, yeah, it's just a longer span of time than I imagined this was. I thought it was coming in later. But
yeah.
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 I'll take the whole enchilada rather than just, the back end.
An enchilada sounds so good right now.
Enchiladas are fantastic. you remember the enchilada at Taco Bell?
No idea.
Sergio, do you remember the
Never heard
enchilada?
of it.
Okay. It's
Are
like
you thinking of a Crunchwrap Supreme?
Because that's the only thing we can eat from Taco Bell.
well, it was way before I was vegan. It wasn't recent. It was basically an enchilada. That's all it was, really. It was a smothered burrito, but kind of.
That checks out with the name.
Enchilada is literally an enchilada burrito, but
Smothered burrito enchilada.
Enchilada is basically a smothered burrito.
It's a smothered corn tortilla burrito. Burritos are typically with
the enchilada was a flour tortilla, so
it was just a smothered burrito.
I'll take 2.
Also,
yeah,
you want to know what I hate?
What?
When people call smothered burritos wet burritos.
Yeah, I know. We discussed this, but you are from a different place. Everyone calls them wet burritos.
Yeah, you're in Wet Burrito Town.
That's disgusting.
You're in Wet Burrito County.
That's so...
Hey,
okay.
they make me wet, so, you know.
I mean...
I thought aptly named when I heard that. I was like, yep.
That's disgusting.
I'm wet as fuck.
I'm just imagining, like a really good, well-made burrito, and then you just pour water on it.
Why would you pour water on a burrito?
Because that's how you make it wet.
No, you pour some good-ass sauce on it.
Yeah, I make some good-ass sauce.
Yeah, you do make some good-ass sauce.
Some good-ass sauce.
Stop talking about ass sauce and get into the story.
I might be a little hungry. Okay. Anyway.
Shocking.
So, my sources this week are marshap.org, a lot of organizations. So, marshap.org, glsen.org, ucnj.org, legacyprojectchicago.org, Britannica, vogue.co.uk, so UK Vogue. Excuse me, and wiki who the fucking guessed itpedia.
That's not an actual website. That's what you wrote as in Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's wiki who the fucking guessed itpedia.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
Also, right before we get into it, a little reminder, there is a new little segment at the end of every episode where I'll be sharing something usually Sergio and I are curious about, and we do a not deep dive, a very shallow dive, like 3 feet into...
It's usually when we're very drunk playing video games or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey,
how
does this work?
And then we look into it, and then we're going to tell you about it, and we won't be able to answer any actual in-depth questions about it, but, you know...
I'm still going to, leverage that.
Go for it. Just throw them at me. I'm like, I don't know. I do want you to... There's a name I have for you that I want you to try to pronounce with me, because I have not tried it myself.
Okay.
But it's a big one.
So I tried... Oh, no, I didn't. I was going to try something new, but I have gotten to a point where I know that my notes are about 6 to 9 pages. Nice.
Nice.
So what I was going to do is put the pictures in line, in my notes, so I could just show you them, whenever they come up. But then I have no idea what my page count is, and I don't know if I have enough information to.
Oh, you were gonna put them in my actual image in the notes rather than a link.
Yeah, so I did that for several of them, and then I was just like, it seems like I might have enough content, but I have no idea. So I need to know if I need to do more research or something.
I think regardless, just get the full research.
I do, but then it's honestly feel like I need filler.
Don't judge it on page count, even if it's a short episode or if it's a long episode. Just.
Because I felt like I had enough, but then I was like, I should probably add at least a little bit of stuff to this, a little bit of oomph, little cherries on top.
I mean, no matter what, I would say
all of your fucking maraschino cherries just right on top.
Oh, you want to bring up my whatever?
Your affliction.
My affliction. It's not an affliction. It was just a habit, a gross habit.
Okay, so Marsha P. Johnson. Ow! Why do I keep doing that?
I don't know. I feel like I need to
just remove my elbows.
No. No.
Is that a thing?
Yes. I was gonna say about the cherries. I just ate a lot of them when I was a kid. That's it. I wasn't doing anything weird with cherries. Just to be clear. So I feel like that sounded like I had a weird problem with cherries. I was just doing something weird with them. I wasn't. I was
just shoving them in your nose and your ears.
Yeah, no, I wasn't doing that. I was just eating them, a lot of them,
and then just getting off on it.
Okay. Getting wet. Like my burritos.
Okay, so this is Marsha.
I have seen this photo.
Yes, of course you have. And you'll figure out who she is and why not why she's important. She's important because she's a fucking person.
I did learn about her within the last year.
Yes, you did. And I guarantee you learned about her in June.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. It's almost a year ago.
It's just, those teeth. So nice.
I know. Like, what a fucking smile.
Can I have him? Can I have him?
She's beautiful. Also, I know that there are some people that don't even identify this as like a thing. So if this is like, I don't know. Even though I identify as like on some spectrum of the trans spectrum, I know several people who do not want people to know their dead names. And then I know several people who literally don't care because it's like a part of their identity and who they were and who they are and all that stuff.
It all comes to the personal preference of each person.
In just like using discretion, and I know that, you know, she's no longer alive, but I still like, I mean, she was Marsha P. Johnson. That's who she was when she was living and when she died. So that's who we know. That's who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, you know, what her birth name is or whatever. So just, yeah. All right. Cool. So, Marsha P. Johnson was a Black trans woman, activist, self-identified drag queen, performer, and survivor. The P in her name stood for Pay It No Mind, which is what Marsha would say in response to questions about her gender.
I fucking love it. That's what the P in my middle name stands for now.
And why?
What? Pay it no mind. I just like that phrase. That's
yeah. Hers was like when people would just be like, you know, Lynn, are you? And she'd be like, pay it no mind.
Yeah, I just think it's a good attitude all the time.
So I love that. And
for
that,
any
like,
nonsense.
That 100% like fits the like just wonderful like gender nonconformist. I don't know, just like fucking she is so free, you know?
Yeah.
She got the Johnson in her name from the restaurant Howard Johnson's on 42nd Street in New York. And then Marsha was kind of a just like a twist on her birth name, basically. So
Got it.
Marsha P. Johnson. Marsha went by Black Marsha before settling on Marsha P. Johnson, so a lot of the articles talked about her at, like with using that name. But then when she settled on Marsha P. Johnson, that's how like people just knew her from then on forward.
Mm-hmm.
So on August 24th, 1945, Marsha was born to Malcolm Michaels Sr. and Alberta, maiden name Claiborne Michaels, in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Malcolm Michaels Sr. was an assembly line worker at GM, and Alberta was a housekeeper. And Marsha was the fifth of 7 children.
We cover a lot of people that have a lot of siblings in this show.
I need to cover a single child. Ed Kemper's next.
Sick. Let's go to single children. All murderers.
Yeah. Yeah, and, you know, also dropped on their head. It's, you know, just who they be.
I was thinking, like, do we have any single? No, Sergio's not a single child.
I was probably dropped on my head.
He is single.
Ladies, gentlemen, fellas. Okay, so her family was very religious. So during her childhood, they attended the Methodist Episcopal Church, and her family remained devoutly religious later in life. They did I don't think that they stuck to one denomination. They like went through a period of Catholicism, but they really stayed devoutly Christian for their entire lives. Mm-hmm. Marsha began wearing dresses at the age of 5, but stopped temporarily due to harassment by boys who lived nearby. So when she was really young, she definitely obviously knew who she was and started to express that. But she also became the young victim of sexual assault by an adolescent boy. So after this, she described the idea of being gay as, quote, some sort of dream, rather than something that seemed possible.
It's very sad.
Very sad, yeah. Johnson's mother reported that being homosexual is like being lower than a dog, but Johnson said that Alberta was unaware of the LGBT community. So it was reported that her mom said that, but when Marsha was like approached and asked about it, she was just like, my mom doesn't even know what being gay means, you know? So it was also like, she was born in the 40s.
Yeah.
So
I mean, even so, lower than a dog is like being human. So
Oh yeah, big time.
yeah, dogs are top.
Dogs completely transcend. It was like that meme that we were just talking about where like God creating animals and it was just like creating a really super fluffy thing, but let's put razor blades on its feet and that's cats. And it's just like, you know, when dog created dogs, he was just like, I think I'm gonna want these ones back.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Did you just say dog created dogs?
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, dog is God.
That's how you picture dogs.
Yeah. Dog
I
bless.
do.
Dog bless everybody.
Anyway, Marsha was educated in the Elizabeth Public School System, the city in which she was born, and graduated from Thomas A. Edison High School in 1963. When she was 18. Right? No. Yeah? Yes. That's 18.
I can't math. I don't know.
45. 63. 10 years in between. 3. 5. 8.
Yes.
18.
Yes. Checks out. Math checks out.
Cool.
All right.
So after graduating high school, she enrolled in the United States Navy for a brief stint. That was only from one source, though, so I'm not entirely sure if that's totally true because another source said that she moved straight to New York after she graduated, and she moved with $15 and a bag of clothes. I was like, see ya. Which could have happened after she came back from the Navy, but most places or most sources just said she left, went to New York, $15, and like tried to make her life there. Yeah. But she permanently relocated to New York's Greenwich Village in 1966. So she graduated in 63. It was said that she went to the Navy, so she could have gone between then and then moved to New York into Greenwich Village in 66. But who knows exactly?
That would make sense. I mean, that's a fair amount of years to like I've known people that went into the Navy for like 4 years or so, basically, and then.
And the idea of temporarily moving to New York with $15 for 3 years seems like a lot of time before you permanently move. So we'll say that that's potentially what happened. Potentially, because we don't know. Conjecture. It's what I read. If anybody knows for sure, please.
Speculation.
Yes, please feel free to send us an email if you know.
Or a tweet or anything. Just, I mean, maybe not a tweet.
I was just gonna say, if someone sends us a tweet, are you gonna see it?
Yeah.
You will?
I am logged in on my phone.
Oh, okay, well then you can send us a tweet.
I will see it.
I won't see literally anything. I don't even know what Twitter is.
Or Instagram. Message us on Instagram.
Instagram.
Contact us. Stalk us and then find us on the street and yell at us.
I have a tweet that I'll probably tweet, so then somebody's gonna listen to this episode and then see my tweet later on and be like, you know, whatever. But I have been called. I don't know what any of that meant. Well, I'm gonna tweet it at some point on my own Twitter.
Oh, okay.
No, but I've been called Miss so much lately on the street.
Me too. It's usually when you are.
So glad that I just brought this up.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah,
because I have long hair and I have
people call us ladies all the time.
Yeah, I have a mask on so they can't see all this striking mustache that I'm able to grow. So they see two long-haired people just sitting there like ladies and miss, and I'm just like, sometimes I'll like speak so then I want to see the panic in their face, but sometimes I'll just stay quiet because I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna speak to like, I don't want to. Sometimes I don't want to put it on them, so I'm like, don't worry about it. It's fine.
There's this thing. It's a Tig Notaro joke, and then I also saw a TikTok of it. But Tig Notaro is like, you know, I get like misgendered all the time. Like people call me sir all the time. So like my thing, and she's like, I encourage you to do this, but if you do it and you have a good experience from it, you have to give me credit or whatever she says. But she says, you know, so like whenever someone's just like, here's your pack of gum, sir, you say, thank you, ma'am. Like if it's a dude, obviously. So then I saw this other thing that was, I believe, a non-binary person. I think that's who is making the TikTok, but it was just like, you know, people tend to misgender people all the time. So like, you know, I just don't think that people understand what it's like to be misgendered if you're cis and you're, you know, like you look like a cis person. So it just only makes sense that, you know, you could do it in return, and then like did this whole logic like thing to say like why that would make sense. And then at the very end, it's just like, what I'm saying is misgender cis people. It's very funny.
It's fair. It's a long way to say that.
Anyway, my tweet is not that.
Got it.
So they're like, there's Miss and Mr. and Mrs. The non-binary term is mix. So instead of like MS, it's MX.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But so I was.
You don't have to explain your tweet. Are you going to explain your?
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to tweet it at some point, you don't have to explain it. Anyone that watches is going to be like old news when they see the tweet. They're not even going to retweet it or like it.
Good news is we have no listeners and I don't have any followers on Twitter. So.
We do have listeners. How dare you? I listen every week when I'm editing. I think Sergio listens.
When we sit here and talk to him right now.
He's listening. He'll see your tweet and be like,
He doesn't even follow me on Twitter. He doesn't even know what my @ is.
I don't use Twitter.
He doesn't use Twitter anymore.
None of us do.
I go on to read articles.
Blue moon. I haven't tweeted in a very long time, but I'll retweet really cool art stuff sometimes. Or funny developer jokes. Can I tell my tweet?
I think you just save your tweet. Tweet it from the Misfits Tidbits Twitter.
It's a personal trans thing. It has nothing to do with...
Sign it, Junie.
No.
Okay.
You know, you know.
If you know, you know.
You get this if you listen to us.
Go ahead and explain your tweet.
No, it's fine.
No, it's fine.
No, it's fine.
I want to hear it
No,
now.
literally, it's fine.
Well, I'll never see it because
I was just going to say, you're going to see it now. You'll see it later. Just like you said, you'll see it later.
But I won't because I don't use Twitter.
You just said that everybody's going to see it later, so it's fine.
Well, I'll use the Misfits and Tidbits Twitter and then I'll follow you on there. So then I'll see it.
Oh, dude, I'll get another follower.
Yeah.
Sick. On top of my 7 that I have that are bots.
Bots. Robots are going to rule the world one day. You're way ahead of everybody else. What's
okay, so Sergio just left and came back, but he's also wearing all black and it's dark outside of the room. So when the door opened, I just thought it was opening by itself and I was like, what is happening?
Silence on the floor. I hope I don't edit at that point because I'm always trying to match the audio, but if I hear 2 clicks that close, I'm going to think it's off and it's going to be like...
Oh, it's going to be
But it's fine. That was good.
That's good. All right, we ready?
I'm so ready. I've never
All right.
been more ready.
So, Marsha permanently relocated to New York's Greenwich Village in 1966.
Yes.
Survival for her after that permanent move was difficult. At times she waitressed or panhandled, but mostly she worked as a sex worker. After meeting gay people in the city, though, Johnson finally felt like it was possible to be gay and was able to come out. She also just lived a hard life. She had, she suffered various traumas and she had a lot of just bad experiences with the people when she was sex working and stuff like that. So it was really hard for her. According to Susan Stryker, a professor of human gender and sexuality studies at the University of Arizona, Johnson's gender expression could perhaps most accurately be called gender nonconforming. Johnson never self-identified with the term transgender, but the term was also not in broad use while Johnson was alive. So I kind of already said all that.
Yeah.
But
there's the source of it. Got it.
Whoop, there it is.
Whoop, there it is.
She was tall, slender, and often dressed in flowing robes and shiny dresses, red plastic high heels, and bright wigs, which tended to draw attention.
As they do.
I mean, anybody wearing that would look very vibrant. She was infamous for her unique design and costume creation. She would receive leftover flowers after sleeping under tables used for sorting flowers in the flower district of Manhattan, and was known for wearing crowns of fresh flowers. She also liked dressing in ways that would display, quote, the interstice between masculine and feminine, which was a quote from Edmund White in his 1979 Village Voice article, The Politics of Drag. Quote, she's both masculine and feminine at once, which was a quote from Kate Millett's Sexual Politics. So, very much played with just gender non...
Yeah,
I was going to say confirmation, but...
Very non-conforming. It's very much a mix of the two just playing together. It's not one, it's not the other.
Yeah. So potentially free of gender and has nothing to do with the binary.
As a fan of fresh flowers, I would love to have...
The company?
What? Is that a company?
Yeah. Buy Fresh Flowers. It's a clothing company.
No, just fresh flowers. Like
Fresh Flowers?
Well, yeah. But... Anyway, yeah, as a fan...
blonde hair, too.
That was black.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, it was in the light to be.
Yeah, there it is.
I hate it.
All right.
I literally glow in the dark.
Interrupted by a hair, a stray hair. As a fan of fresh flowers, the actual item, not a brand that I didn't know existed, I would love to have someone around that just always had fresh flowers on them.
Joe Van wears it all the time.
He wears the brand or fresh flowers?
Oh, that'd be sick if he wore fresh flowers.
That's what I'm saying. I want...
No, just the brand. Yes, yeah, no, it was, yeah, very, indicative of, like, that it was a very staple item of hers, and, I mean, freaking just...
Yeah, the photo.
Let's just bring it back.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
And I honestly, when I saw the photo initially, I was like, I didn't think those were fresh.
Well, there you go.
It's amazing.
Most of Johnson's performance work was her drag performance work was with groups that were more grassroots, comedic, and political. So not just flashy and doing it for the sake of doing drag. She was doing it for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
She performed with multiple drag groups. And I have two here. It's possible that she worked with more, but these were the two that were listed that I found. Mm-hmm. So her most popular that she performed with were called Hot Peaches. The group was J. Camisia's International New York-based drag performance troupe. She performed with them from 1972 through shows in the 90s. And she became an AIDS activist and appeared in the Hot Peaches production The Heat in 1990. So this is what the Hot Peaches look like.
That is amazing.
Yeah. Little drag babies
in there. The little kid on the left looks like...
You?
No! Is that what you think I look like?
No, just like as a kid with long hair, probably.
I didn't have long hair as a kid.
I know, just seeing you now, I can't imagine what you look like with short hair.
Yeah. No,
anyway, he looks like what?
He looks like a kid that I have seen recently. Like
an actual
I was
child?
I was gonna like explain it, but I was like, that's too much to explain. It's what's her name's kid from the studio that Sergio and I worked in. She's having another baby. What's her name? I don't remember her name.
Jenny?
I know her Instagram handle. I forgot her name completely.
Is it the one with the husband that we were in the elevator with that one time?
No.
Her husband's name was Kevin. That's the lady I'm talking about.
No, it's another gal that worked there. She was from Russia, the Russian one.
Was she the one with the blue chair?
No, she didn't. She didn't actually have an office, like a desk there. She just came and rented the studio constantly.
I don't know. She had children.
She has a boy, and he looks like that.
Wow.
Yeah, she took beautiful photos.
Yeah, she still does. I still follow her. She's an incredible photographer, and she's pregnant. She's having another baby.
Congratulations. If you see this, which you won't, but...
She probably won't, but...
Congratulations.
You know, congratulations to her. Sorry I forgot your name.
Also, I would like to just say that the photo that you just saw came from a source called queerguru.com. Love that.
Amazing.
Okay. So the second group that I got that she performed with was called the Angels of Light, which was the Coquettes, a similar drag troupe from San Francisco, formed an East Coast troupe called the Angels of Light, with which Marsha also performed in.
Cool.
I have a quote from her that says, "I was no one, nobody from Nowheresville until I became a drag queen. That's what made me in New York. That's what made me in New Jersey. That's what made me in the world." Quote from Marsha P. Johnson herself.
Love that.
Marsha quickly became a prominent fixture in the LGBTQ community, serving as a drag mother, helping homeless and struggling LGBTQ youth. I will go into that. I have an entire section for her activism, so that is like that's a summarization of what she did with some of her activism, but I go into the details of how she actually did that.
Yeah.
I have a fun tidbit here, which actually went into one of her identifications, one of the articles that I read, but the fun tidbit is that in 1975, Johnson was photographed by famed artist Andy Warhol as a part of a Ladies and Gentlemen series of Polaroids. So one of the articles that I read identified her as an Andy Warhol model, which is cool.
Cool.
So she was a tireless advocate for AIDS patients, but she was also diagnosed with HIV herself in 1990. Due to the stress and trauma she endured, she was known to have severe mental issues. There's a lot of content on this and a lot of connotation that was associated with her, just like some of the disorders that she adopted because of the trauma that she went through. But I don't go into any of that because it's pretty fucked up. So I'm just going to tell you kind of matter-of-factly what actually happened with her. So she spoke of first having mental breakdowns in 1970. She also had an angry and violent side that would come out when Johnson was depressed or under severe stress. This dual personality of hers has been described as, quote, a schizophrenic personality at work. When this happened, when she would get angry and violent when she was stressed, she would often get in fights and wind up hospitalized and sedated, and friends would have to organize and raise money to bail her out of jail to secure releases from places like Bellevue, which is where she went after I think she was on trial for like the death of one of her husbands or something like that, or like a partner that she had. And she had nothing to do with it or anything like that, but it was probably like wrong place, wrong time kind of thing. And she just already had mental issues, so it was basically stacked against her, and she ended up going to Bellevue for it.
Got it.
She was said to have always put others' needs before her own and remained very close with her family throughout her life. So even though they were religious, she was definitely authentically herself and still was able to remain close with her family. And as my last little bit for the about her section, like her, summarization of biography, I have a quote that says, "Her forthright nature and enduring strength led her to speak out against injustices," which was a quote from unjc.org. And I think with that, it would probably be a good time for a wee break.
I am very excited to hear about how she fought these injustices.
A mí también.
When we come back, I really have to pee so badly.
I know.
It's not even okay.
It's dire. Really, this is gonna be a wee break.
It's become dire. I gotta go.
We will see you in just a bit.
Okay, goodbye. And we're back.
And wait, we're back.
We're back.
Our backs.
Our backs. We are backs.
We are backs. We left off with the quote that said, "Forthright nature and enduring strength led her to speak out against injustices."
And we're now going to hear about how
her activism. We're about to hear about her activism. God bless. Dog bless.
Hold on, I'm not done. It's coming. There it is.
Bless.
Thank you.
Now you get a burp segment.
Oh, I love a burp segment. I love that's actually what the end of this episode's gonna be. It's a burp segment.
There we go.
I changed it. I'm not gonna tell you about anything. It's gonna burp.
We're just gonna burp back and forth.
And burp the ABCs backwards.
I'm gonna burp the 1, 2, 3s backwards.
The 1, 2, 3s.
Numbers.
You're just gonna count forever?
No, backwards.
From what?
Exactly.
From the last number?
Yes.
What's the last number?
Yeah.
I get it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, the Stonewall Inn was often shortened to Stonewall, and it is a gay bar and recreational tavern in the Greenwich Village neighborhood of Lower Manhattan, New York City. Marsha was one of the first drag queens to go to the Stonewall Inn after they began allowing women and drag queens inside. It was previously a bar only for gay men. So, this is what the Stonewall Inn looks like. Now, this is today. This is obviously after last year.
Yeah.
Obviously, because, nobody gave a shit for that.
Yeah.
So, June 28th, 1969.
Nice.
The Stonewall Uprising occurred.
The summer of 69. That's a notorious summer.
It was a series of spontaneous demonstrations by members of the gay or LGBTQIA+ community, which it wasn't that before. It was the LGBT community.
Mm-hmm.
The demonstrations began in response to a police raid that began in the early morning hours of the Stonewall Inn. Patrons of the Stonewall and other village lesbian and gay bars and neighborhood street people fought back when the police became violent. So there was a raid done in the bar itself, and the police started just like
beating people?
Just, 100%, just fucking going in.
Gasp. Our boys in blue? They would never.
Our bastards in blue? Yeah. So the riots are widely considered to constitute one of the most important events leading to the gay liberation movement and the 20th century. Woof.
Whoa.
The 20th.
Is there time travel involved?
Yeah, gay rights actually began in the 12th century.
Damn.
And the 20th century fight for LGBT rights in the United States.
Got it.
QIA+. So many eyewitnesses have identified Marsha as one of the main instigators of the uprising, and thus some have recognized her as the vanguard of this movement. Johnson denied starting the uprising and said that she arrived long after the riots started. So there were several reports of different things that she did during the night that were like super crazy. There was one where there was like a report of people saying that she took a shot glass and threw it at a mirror and said like, I want my rights now during this whole thing. And she said that she wasn't even there when that could have happened. So that like, it definitely didn't happen. She didn't start this. She wasn't really a big part of it. But on the second night, it is actually corroborated that Johnson climbed up a lamppost and dropped a bag with a brick in it down to a police car, shattering the windshield. My fucking girl. Person. Love. So after a year after the uprising, to mark the anniversary on June 28th, the first gay pride marches took place in New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. And she marched in the first gay pride rally in New York.
Fuck yeah.
Today, LGBT pride events are held annually throughout the world toward the end of June to mark the Stonewall riots. In 1992, a Stonewall memorial was moved to Christopher Street to recognize the gay liberation movement. So the Stonewall Inn is on Christopher Street, so there was a monument erected to commemorate it, and it was moved to Christopher Street. And Marsha said, how many people have died for these two little statues to be put in the park to recognize gay people? How many years does it take for people to see that we're all brothers and sisters and human beings in the human race? I mean, how many years does it take for people to see that we're all in the rat race together?
Hopefully not all of the years.
I mean, we're in the all of the years part still.
We're trying. We're trying though.
Marsha was nicknamed the, quote, Saint of Christopher Street, where the Stonewall Inn is located, because of the generosity they had shown towards people in New York's LGBTQ+ community. After Stonewall, Johnson joined the Gay Liberation Front and was active in the Gay Liberation Front Drag Queen Caucus. In August 1970, she staged a sit-in protest at the Weinstein Hall at New York University alongside fellow GLF members after administrators canceled a dance when they found out it was sponsored by gay organizations. Motherfuckers. Shortly after that, Marsha and close friend Sylvia Rivera co-founded the street. I have a very hard time saying this word, but this is what it's called.
Where is it? Oh, yeah.
Can I just not say it?
You can just not say it. I thought it was like a pronunciation thing.
No.
Yeah, you could just not say that.
So it's the street. Can I spell it?
Yeah, go ahead.
TRANSVESTITE Action Revolutionaries, or STAR organization. So that word is just super derogatory and has been used to slander trans people. So if you still say it, or if your parents say it, or if your grandparents say it to describe trans people, tell them that's not right. Do your own research. In our experience and what we know to be true and correct, transgender is a more appropriate and effective and communicative term for just transgenderism. And you shouldn't say that word, so just don't say it. And I didn't say it, so you shouldn't say it. But in 1972, so yeah, disregarding the fact that that word is now offensive, it wasn't then, and that's not why they, made it. It was literally to include all trans folk. In 1972, they established the Star House, which was a shelter for gay and trans street kids, and they paid the rent for it with money that they made themselves as sex workers. So Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera both started that house and did the work to house many, many people.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So when I was saying that she did a lot of work to help like youth and stuff like that within the LGBTQ community, that was it. While being interviewed for a book in 1972, Johnson said her ambition was, quote, to see gay people liberated and free and to have equal rights that other people have in America, with her, quote, gay brothers and sisters out of jail and on the streets again. In 1973, Johnson and Rivera were banned from participating in the Gay Pride Parade by the Gay and Lesbian Committee, who were administering the event, stating that they, quote, were going to allow drag queens at their marches, and claiming that they were, quote, giving them a bad name. So saying that drag queens were giving the gay community a bad name. Yeah.
You hate to see part of like that, community as a whole now. Like even then, even now I know there's.
Even now it's speaking as a queer person, the fucking like cis gay communities can be so gatekeepy.
Yeah, I know, but it's just so sad to see like in such a big way to bar them from
and an entire like subset of the LGBTQ community. Yeah. So their response was to march defiantly ahead of the parade. We can't march in it, so we're just gonna march right in fucking front of you. So, because we talked a lot about Marsha marching in pride parades, this is her at one of the parades.
Fuck yeah.
At another gay rights rally in the early 70s, a reporter asked her why the group was demonstrating, and Johnson shouted into the microphone, "Darling, I want my gay rights now." In the 1980s, Johnson continued to play an active part in street activism. So from 1987 through 1992, she was an AIDS activist with ACT UP, which is an international grassroots political group working to end the AIDS pandemic. Excuse me.
Good.
Yeah.
So, man, this episode's gonna have more can cracks than any episode prior.
It's true. All right. Well, I'll wait because we're just about to get to another section. So
I'm just gonna make a montage of all the cracks in this episode, butt cracks included.
I was just gonna be like, you should moon. You should definitely moon the camera.
Do it.
There aren't enough moonings anymore. People should moon people.
I think that's illegal.
I think we're good with the amount of moons we don't have.
I think I've seen...
you should moon me more.
That's fair. In the privacy of our home.
I just want to see your butt all the time.
I can
show your butt.
I can make that happen. But if it's
consensually. Don't moon people not consensually.
I think I've seen enough moons and done enough mooning in my lifetime.
I've never mooned anybody or anything at any time in my entire life. Anyway.
This is to the moons.
All of Saturn's moons.
It's for all the moons in space. Anyway.
So.
Lovely to hear about all the activism that she participated in throughout her life.
Yes. Yeah. Very, very big and important.
And she was just like so unapologetic and like unfazed. I mean, the P was there for a reason.
Exactly.
She said fuck it to everything and just kept doing the thing.
She knew who she was and she went for it.
Yeah. No mind. Pay it, no mind. Keep doing your thing.
So, At the time of her death in 1992, Johnson was said to be increasingly sick and in a fragile state, according to Randy Wicker, which I believe is a friend of hers.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying that in regard to her mental health.
Got it.
Shortly after the 1992 Pride Parade, Johnson's body was discovered floating in the Hudson River. Police initially ruled the death as a suicide, but Johnson's friends and other members of the local community insisted that she was not suicidal and noted that the back of her head had a massive wound. So they obviously suspected foul play.
Mm-hmm.
So those who were close to her considered the death suspicious, and many claimed that while she did struggle mentally, this did not manifest itself as suicidal. So according to Wicker, the person who spoke above, a witness saw a neighborhood resident fighting with her on July 4th, 1992. During the fight, he used a homophobic slur and later bragged to someone at a bar that he had killed a drag queen named Marsha.
Fuck that guy.
And the police still were like, we don't fucking care.
Of course,
Absolutely
yeah.
not.
Of course they're going to follow up.
Yes. So law enforcement was not interested in investigating her death, and they stated that the case was about a, quote, gay black man, and they wanted little to do with it at the time.
Fuck you. Fuck you then, fuck you now.
You sound great. I'm
Yeah.
being sarcastic.
So Johnson was cremated, and following the funeral at a local church, friends released Johnson's ashes over the river. Police allowed 7th Avenue to be closed while her ashes were carried to the river. However, in December of 2002, a police investigation resulted in the reclassification of Johnson's cause of death from suicide to undetermined. And then in November of 2012, an activist named Mariah Lopez succeeded in getting the New York Police Department to reopen the case as a possible homicide. And then in 2016, Victoria Cruz of the Anti-Violence Project also tried to get Johnson's case reopened and succeeded in gaining access to the previously unreleased documents and witness statements. Cruz sought to get new interviews with witnesses, friends, and other activists, and police who had worked the case or had been on the force of the time of Johnson's probable murder. However, the case still remains unsolved. So it is still...
So it still remains like a...
undetermined.
Undetermined. So but after that, there was a possible homicide, which is...
Yeah, so it's still being investigated.
Technically undetermined, but possible homicide. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
there hasn't reached any definitive answer.
Got it.
To my knowledge, the case is not closed. It has been reopened, and as of 2016, it's still reopened, so...
Yeah.
In 2018, the New York Times published a belated obituary for her. Our girl, Marsha P. Johnson.
That's nice.
So I have a little bit of a last section here, and then I think we'll be good to get, another tidbit. But this section is called More Tidbits. So,
yeah.
So I'll give you a bunch of them, and then I'll hear a tidbit from you.
Yes, you will.
So, the Marsha P. Johnson Institute was started in memoriam of her. Their mission statement on their website states, quote, "The Marsha P. Johnson Institute, or MPJI, projects and defends the human rights of Black transgender people. We do this by organizing, advocating, creating an intentional community to heal, developing transformative leadership, and promoting our collective power." On May 30th in 2019, it was announced that Johnson and Sylvia Rivera would be honored with monuments at Greenwich Village near the site of the Stonewall Club to commemorate them and their work that they did. Reminder that Sylvia Rivera was the person who started STAR with Marsha P. Johnson. Construction is rumored to be completed by 2021. These monuments of Johnson and Rivera will be the world's first monuments to honor transgender activists.
Amazing.
In June 2019, Johnson was one of the inaugural 50 American pioneers, trailblazers, and heroes inducted on the National LGBTQ Wall of Honor within the Stonewall National Monument, SNM. Weird name for it.
I was like, wait, S&M. Yeah.
In New York City's Stonewall Inn.
So it's inside the inn. There's
a museum. Yep, and they have they were labeled as one of the pioneers, trailblazers, and heroes within the museum.
Got it.
On February 1st, 2020, Governor Andrew Cuomo of New York announced that the East River State Park in Brooklyn will be renamed in Johnson's honor. It will be the first New York State Park named after an LGBTQIA+ person.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
I mean, that was a year ago.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wonder if it was announced on February 1st for Black History Month.
Yeah, but it's possible. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
But I mean, either way, yeah, very, very.
Yeah.
I mean, probably performative, but still, like, it feels like a big step to.
Yeah, I mean, performative or not, like, it's something that has a lasting effect. It's not like something that's performative that only lasts a month.
Right, exactly, yeah.
It's something that's going to last for a long time.
Right, and her name will continue to be in the public eye because of this. Like, when people are trying to, be like, oh, well, why is this named,
Yeah, exactly.
We want to know about stuff. Other people want to know about stuff, too. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then in August of 2020, it was announced that Johnson's hometown, Elizabeth, New Jersey, would erect a monument to her. And I have a closing statement that says, quote, Marsha is honored as a Stonewall pioneer, a drag queen, and Andy Warhol model, an actress, and a revolutionary trans activist. Okay.
She was all those things and many, many more things. Yes. Just a all-around wonderful human.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I did learn a little bit, if not some of that, this last year. But it's nice to sit here and talk about the in-depth biography and life of someone so influential and wonderful.
Yeah.
Very, very happy to have learned this one today.
Me too. I was so, like, sometimes research takes me, I usually do research Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, because obviously I work full time, so I have to do research whenever I'm not working, or sometimes when I am. Don't tell anybody. But I have, like, it's a lot to do, and I sat down to do research on Wednesday and could not figure out what topic I was going to do. There are just so many, and Black history is so dense, and there's stuff that people have covered exhaustively that I could cover, or there's things that people have literally never touched because they're so just buried under all of just everything, and whiteness specifically. So there's so many things to pick from. I couldn't figure out what to do. And I asked my sister, and she ended up texting me and saying that you should do, she said you should do the woman who helped start gay pride. And I was just like, Marsha, how did I not think of that? Because
there's so many things, and we want to, like, we also want to find the things that people don't know about and stuff. Like Henrietta Lacks was like such a big thing.
I literally had not heard of.
But I think this is the reason that we're not going to stop with Black Pride or like Black History Month. Covering these topics, like it is a part of just history in general, so we're going to continue to talk about like Black stories.
We are curious, like we with how little we got from our public education, we got even less of Black history within that education.
Exactly.
Like when we were learning about like the history of Black History Month, sorry, I will get back to what I was saying about this research, but when we were learning about the history of Black History Month, it was said that in many places they have like school events or like school focuses on Black History Month, and I don't recall ever having anything like that.
No, I don't think I had any.
Not even like grade school,
Yeah.
Like nothing. So I really, really just give a shit, want to know, and am super excited about the research. And this was one, looping it back to what my point was. Because it usually takes me 3 days, it's just like a lot of stuff. And this took a lot of reading, and like you saw, I had a bunch of sources at the beginning, but it was the fastest research I've done since we started the show.
Yeah, it was a really interesting one and really fun to learn about.
A little bit of a quicker topic, just because like the content wasn't as extensive as some of the other ones that we've had. It was just a biography of a super important, wonderful person. But biographies can tend to be a little bit short, and
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like we got everything that we needed, and it was super wonderful, and it was super fun to research, and that was it. That's the point. That's that.
Yeah. Very happy to have learned about it this week.
Me too.
And now we go off to this land. This land is nobody's land. It's definitely not ours.
Before we do that, can we take a wee break?
Yes, let's take a wee break, and then when we come back, we will head to the yet to be named
The unknown.
The unknown. We'll head to the unknown.
Hey, I like that, honestly. Okay, anyway.
I mean, it's all unknown, really. We're all anyway.
Well, Lennon.
We all in here.
All right, and okay.
And we're back. Let's get into the unknown. Doesn't feel right yet. Doesn't feel right.
We'll find. We'll get it.
We'll get it.
It feels too serious.
It feels too serious. Yeah, we'll get there. I think at this at a certain point, I want it to be some sort of like corner. You think of a corner, and then we'll just cut to me like in a dark room.
Curiosity corner.
That could be good. I like curiosity corner, but it'll just be me in a dark
JC
room.
Forever
It's gotta
JC.
be a fire pit. It's got to be a fire pit.
That's what it should be called. It should be called Forever JC.
Yes.
Forever Just Curious.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
But I mean, maybe a fire pit.
Fireplace.
Fire pit sounds good. Like, I mean, a fireplace. Yeah, fireplace.
Fire pit.
But like an armchair. Like maybe an armchair.
Well, we're gonna get
Yeah,
armchairs in
armchair.
our studio at some point because we're just that fancy.
But I want like the corner
You
with
can't
just.
have an armchair without a fireplace.
It's just true. That's it's illegal in the state of California.
Okay, whatever. Regardless. Eventually, we're gonna have a corner, and it's gonna be fine. Curiosity corner is pretty good. A little CC action. All right. Anyway, if you are just chiming in now and you're like, what the hell are they talking about? I will be giving a little fun tidbit at the end of every episode that I was curious about in the past week. Junie has, deep research and goes into wonderful topics and tells me all about things for like an hour and a half, and then I get to ramble about something stupid for like 3 minutes, and no one cares, but it's fine. It's gonna be fun.
Perfect.
Okay, that's last week's. We're gonna go to this week's.
Next week's.
Let's do
We're
that.
going to next week's.
Go to
Let's do next week's.
Future stuff here. Oh, I got 2 pages this week. Okay. So this.
Well, I had 6, so I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Okay.
Tree wins.
Back to the drawing board. Okay. So
I get it because you're a designer.
that was a fake laugh. From last week, and you were telling me that my laugh was fake, and then I was like, "You're a liar." This one was fake. I love you. Do you want to learn about something?
No.
The episode's over. The episode's over. Okay, so this week we are gonna answer. So stupid. Oh, my notes are so dumb sometimes.
Sound.
Almost always. This week we're gonna learn about why, or the truth, maybe not even the truth, about pirates wearing eye patches.
Because they get their eyes stabbed out.
Because they get their eyes stabbed out.
Wrong.
Well,
Sorry.
the answer is not so simple. And this week, after Sergio and I had a brief conversation about it, but after diving
Drunk
into it,
on Xbox.
yes, we were headset hanging. What are you gonna do? And then I went into a little
Sounds like when you commit suicide by hanging yourself with your headset cord. Anyway.
way to go dark. We were just hanging out with headsets on.
Sounds kind of gay.
Yeah, it was.
We might have been naked, but that wasn't.
But that
That had nothing to do with
it's
it.
besides the point.
Okay, anyway.
Anyway, I would do a little deeper vibes and deeper dives. Deeper
Love
dive.
the deep vibes.
So I'm deep thought.
All right, let's get to the.
That was also a fake laugh, in case you were wondering. That was a fake laugh.
That wasn't your real laugh. You aren't a voice in SpongeBob.
No, I am.
Oh, okay.
But that has nothing to do with my fake laugh. Anyway.
I just want to note that in my notes here,
No, about your notes?
It says who to fucking thunk it.
No, shut the fuck up, everybody. I'm trying to tell some facts. I'm literally at line 1. I'm at line 1 in my notes. Speaking of line 1, it reads pirates, pirates, because the eye patch. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
2 pages of this.
It's 2 pages of that. Yeah, basically.
Why do you think there's only one eye in pirates? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. That would have been the better joke. Thank you.
I mean, yes, if you're speaking out loud, but written down, this looks funny. Don't look at my notes. Don't look at my notes. Anyway.
I can't read them anymore.
Yeah, it was just that was for me. That was for me. I didn't even have to mention it. It was for me. I'm still at line 1. Can I get to line 2?
I don't know, can you?
I would love to. Okay, so contrary to popular belief.
Popular belief.
Well, I mean, okay, so disclaimer, there is no actual known reason for the eye patch thing. But I'm gonna go into why all the so there's no definitive answer to this, which is fun to learn as well. But a lot of very smart people smarter than I,
smarter than us. Nice.
Smarter than I. Okay. They don't think it had anything to do with missing eyes or injured eyes.
It had to do with how you can see better at sea.
See better at sea.
It's like, like when you're like looking at something, like when people are inspecting diamonds, they always do like this.
Yeah.
Focus better.
I think that's for focus. That's
well, yeah, but they're focusing through their thingies.
I'm at line 2. Can I get to line 3?
It's not a telescope. What is it? What's the thing that parrots look through?
It's a telescope.
It is a telescope?
I don't know.
Periscope?
Periscope? That's what submarines.
Oh, periscope's up. It doesn't matter.
Anyway, that's an app.
Is it anymore?
We should make an app called
God damn it. Can I get to my shit?
Sorry.
This is the only reason why this episode's gonna break an hour.
I'm so upset right now. Okay, well, it had nothing to do with injured or missing eyes, according to a lot of smarter people, but it had everything to do with seeing in the dark. Because, pirates are known to be notorious hide-and-seek players. If you weren't aware of that. There is an actual pirate named Jim Sheedy who notoriously made his crewmates play hide-and-seek while they were on long voyages.
Sounds kind of gay.
None of that was true. Jim Sheedy is actually a doctor of vision science, which sounds like he belongs on WandaVision, but he's definitely not. He's not in there. All the scientists and assholes in there are assholes. So
we made it. We made it to our Marvel reference for this episode.
No spoilers.
Everybody loves it. I'm not gonna give you any spoilers. But Jim Sheedy, a doctor of vision science.
It's not just called an optometrist.
Nope. Vision science. He's not an optometrist. He studies vision. He doesn't look at eyeballs of other people and be like, hey, you need glasses.
And study their vision.
No, he studies vision as a whole. He's a vision scientist. Shut up. He reported to the Wall Street Journal that although eyes adapt from dark to light very quickly, it can take up to 25 minutes for eyes to adapt from light to darkness, which is a very long time. If you compare it to quickly. Versus
25 minutes is longer than quickly, for sure.
Versus quickly, yeah, exactly. But this served them for when they were going. Well, these are all guesses, I guess, educated guesses. They're
speculation,
theorizing about this.
Absolutely.
But it could be when they were going, from the top of the deck to below the deck, and it could be also when they were plundering and attacking other ships. I will answer your question in a second. But they could be attacking a ship in the daytime and then going below and then switching their eye patch to the adjusted eye to see below deck.
Oh, okay, got it.
What is your question?
I was gonna say, did they wear an eye patch so it cuts the adjustment time in half? So when they go below deck, they only have to wait 12 and a half minutes for it to adjust.
No, they would switch so that one of their eyes was already adjusted to darkness so they would see immediately in the dark.
That sounds really educated. That sounds exactly right.
Yeah. So but I'm gonna get to the whole like why, you know,
Why?
where anyway.
Where does Jack Sparrow fall into?
Shut the fuck up. So here's the part where it's all basically speculation because there are no first person sources from history about this. So there's no actual
It's
historical.
just like a media trope.
There's no first person sources that it was used from going from light to dark. There's no sources about
I thought
that.
you just meant with
No, I think
pirates
that-
wearing eye patches.
That's a media trope. I think that is definitely a trope. But I was trying to find the origins of it. But there are no actual historical things or sources to say that they used it to see better in the dark.
Maybe the person who started that trend for pirates thought about this fact that like that it makes total sense if a pirate were to wear an eye patch and then just put that in their pirate movie.
So I'm gonna get to where the eye patch was on a pirate was first seen.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah. Let's see, where was I? So yeah, since there are no sources, I mean everyone's like, well then, you know, whatever, how do you get there? But there is actually no real question about if it works or not because the wonderful Mythbusters tested it in 2007 on an episode, and their findings were basically that like your covered eye will not lose its like adaptive quality when you're in light. So even if one of your eyes is adapting, like your other eye is still going to retain being able to see in low light, so you are able to switch it over. Like, because that was a question, like if one of your eyes sees light, will your other eye like follow suit and like sort of adapt to that? And it won't. So you are able to retain your adaptiveness in one eye.
Which makes sense because it's always about how much light is being let into your eye, and like that's why your pupil size is different and stuff like that. So if there's less light being let into your eye, it can't be absorbing anything or getting the like training
of course. So it's only the lack of historical records that keep it from being actually confirmed.
Okay.
And actually there's one military manual for pilots that points out that one eye will retain the adaptation if protected, like by closing your eye or whatever, like covering it, anything like that. There's actually a military manual that points that out, like an old one. And the FAA actually recommends that pilots should close.
The FAA.
What does FAA stand for?
Federal Aviation.
Aviation Association. It's pilot people.
Okay.
The federal pilot people. The people that do the whole sky stuff, all the sky things.
SkyMall?
SkyMall. They do SkyMall.
Got it. Okay.
They recommend that a pilot should actually close one eye when using a light if they're flying like at night. If they're flying in the dark and they need to use a light to see something, that they should close one eye.
Oh, like when you're in a car driving and like you should.
Exactly.
Okay,
so if you're in a car driving, you need to look like a map, which I don't know.
Who the fuck looks at maps?
My dad. He's 1,000.
Your dad is 1,000.
But yeah, the FAA recommends if you're gonna use a light like in the dark, like and you're a pilot, you're flying at night, like to close one eye, so not both of your eyes have to adapt to the light, and one of your eye retains its adaptation to the darkness.
That's crazy because if I don't know, I feel like so much light gets let in. Like, for instance, I have to sleep with a blanket on my head every night because if I don't, I'll get a migraine with like even if it's like a clock light or like the light that's flooding through my shades that are closed when I'm sleeping, I will wake up with a migraine because my eyes are so sensitive to light. Like,
yeah,
I feel like that doesn't it doesn't really do the job.
But it's not about like your sensitivity to light. It's about the adaptation of like you. Even if light gets through, Like, it's not that they're not getting like headaches from it. Like, their eyes are not.
But I think that like because so much light is being let in when my eye is closed, if I turn a light on,
Regardless, if you didn't cover your face when you went to sleep and you woke up in the dark, you would be able to see better than.
Talking about the pilot thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, it's not about sensitivity to light; it's about your eye adapting to the dark. And it's not.
Okay,
it's not
but if
enough.
I slept with the light on, is what I'm saying. Like that's the thing. It's like if you close your eyes, like right now, it seems like there's so much light already that my eye is probably used to the light versus the dark. Like, I mean, it's honestly the same argument with pirates, too.
Do you want to argue with these scientists?
Yeah, I do. Fucking fight me. Anyway, sorry, continue.
I think regardless, when your eyes are closed, I mean, we also have, like, lights on us. In like, when you're sleeping, there's, like, a small light on. Like, your eyes are still going to be adapted to the darkness. They're not going to be adapted to a bright light. So that's the whole theory or whatever. Again, it's not confirmed. A lot of smarter people know, but then I got to thinking, since it's not confirmed, I want to know when like the first recorded pirate with an eye patch came in, and it was actually an Arab ruler in the Persian Gulf who was once the most famous pirate.
I was gonna say that there was gonna be one fucking notorious pirate.
So there is a record of him wearing an eye patch after losing one in battle, so which points to the opposite theory of like what everyone's speculating,
just injury.
So then I thought maybe they wanted to like since he was the most famous pirate, it's like, who's to say like other pirates didn't want to look fucking cool?
Right, exactly. They didn't want okay, that's the actual. That's the theory I subscribe to. Is that this one dude was so fucking just gnarly and so sick that he lost an eye in battle, had to wear an eye patch, and the other pirates were like, well, I'm not tough if I didn't fucking lose my eye, exactly. So like I have to do it. That's 100% I subscribe to that.
Well, smart people are like, okay, there has to be like a real reason. Like, no, they just want to look cool.
Yeah, exactly. And it could have been a trend that caught on, and then, but I don't know. That's also my own speculation just from finding out this fact.
That's true. That's facts. Don't even email us. That's facts.
But
hope you have a printer, because that's big facts.
You once made me pronounce something in an episode, and I mean, I think I was close.
I think you were spot on, and then I butchered it exactly after you said it.
But now I have one, and I'm not informed in Arab names at all.
Ooh, this is gonna feel bad.
It's not, I mean, we're just trying to pronounce it. It's not, I don't know how to, like, because I want to give his name, but I
okay.
Oh my god, it's so long.
Okay.
I even like accidentally left a part out. Well, here, if you look at my notes, there's a shorter version of it, and then that actually goes between those that I saw in a longer version of his name.
Okay, so this whole thing is his name.
Yes.
And then there's a part where this is in it.
That goes in between these two.
Okay.
Which, I mean, if you look at the structure, it's like, I don't know. Like this, for the IBN, which I don't even know how to pronounce.
I'll tell you.
It's an Arab spelling, or like an English, Arab to English spelling, but I don't even know how to pronounce that. But that seems to be a separator for names, so it's like that, and then Al Jahimi is like his last name, I think.
Jalhami.
Sure.
All right. So should I say the IBNs then?
Yeah, but I don't know the actual like pronunciation. Decorum.
If the IBNs are not just separators, then it's just.
Well, I mean, I didn't mean they were separators as in not said. I mean, it seems to be between names.
Okay.
Like when I was looking at the names, like it seems to be between these names, and I mean, obviously, I have no education in this. So.
Rama ibn Jabir ibn Adbi that was right. Adbi al Jalhami.
Yeah, that's as good as I could have gotten, I guess.
That's his name. That's the full name.
That's the full name of an Arab ruler in the Persian Gulf. I didn't get the year. I should have wrote that down.
It's okay. Your turn.
It's a long time ago. Rama ibn Jabir ibn Adbi al-Jahami. think I nailed it.
You missed the L on the last name, but yeah.
No, I said Al-Jahami.
Jalhami.
Jalhami.
Yeah, you said Jahami both times.
I did. You're right. I tried separating it like literally like letter by letter in this grid to get it right, but you know,
it's good.
He was a very notorious and like well-known pirate, and there was like illustrations of him wearing an eye patch because he was the first. He lost his eye in a battle, and I think since he was the most famous,
that's so hard.
It's easy to like speculate, at least from my point of view, that he was just, you know, an idol to a lot of pirates after him.
I love it.
But who's to say? Everyone else, all these, you know, scientists think it was because of light, but who's to say?
No, humans are dumb. It's definitely about just looking cool.
It's about looking cool. Yeah, and that's all I have for you this week.
All right.
That
was wonderful. I loved that.
Yeah, I thought that was really fun. It was something like I wanted to dig into like a lot more than I usually want to. Like, I just like get a quick fact and I'm like, cool. That one I was like, I need to know more.
So back to my thought about this. You said there's an app called Periscope, but I was thinking that we should make an astrology app called Horoscope, and then just like tell people how they're gonna die or something like that based on their
like
horoscope.
A spooky scope.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah. TM. That's a verbal
or we
trademark.
could just literally we should start another podcast and call it Horoscope, which is probably already a thing. But if it's not, it's ours.
TM. That's a verbal trademark. That's an agreement.
All right. Wonderful. Well, that's all I had. Again, if you see anything that I missed, or if you think that there's anything that I missed in this episode and or something that I got profoundly wrong, a lot of the language here is sensitive language. So if there's anything that, again, I got wrong or I said wrong, please feel free to let us know. We're always 100% ready to learn. Obviously, that's what the podcast is about, and ready to be better. So just let us know. This was a super fun episode, and I feel like we say that every week, but these are just getting more and more, I don't know, exciting and fun to do, and I love it.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited to actually even get into all the, because I know we have like a huge arsenal of like things that we love, which is basically paranormal and true crime stuff.
Yeah.
That I'm excited to dive deeper into like a lot of the topics that we already know as well. Like, think we know at least. Like, dive into those things over the next.
I actually know who I'm doing next week now.
Like the next year, we're gonna be diving into like so many things that I think are gonna be things we are familiar with and things we aren't familiar with. Like a lot of the topics that we've covered so far, I've been so unfamiliar with.
I know, yeah, me too, 100%.
And I'm really excited to do both, have like the really fun episodes for us, and I think a lot of the people that we have as listeners will be interested in, and then the things that like none of us really know anything about. I'm excited.
Me too.
Again, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Misfits in Tidbits. That's an NMISFITSNTIDBITS. BTS. Follow us there. Interact with us. We want to talk and hang and do all the things. Did you already say the email?
hello@mntpodcast.com. I think I've said that at least twice, but there's your third and or second time.
There we go.
And you can go to mntpodcast.com to find all of our links and all of our things and see just extra information about us, Misfits, all of the stuff. And we will keep that mostly up to date and give you all like the new facts and figures and stuff about us. And please feel free to just like hop in our email and start a dialogue or tweet at us or, you know, whatever.
And also another reminder to please, if you're listening, go to Apple Podcasts if you're listening there or not. Please give us a 5-star rating or, you know, an honest rating. Who am I to tell you what to do with your life? Do your own thing. Just rate us, review us, tell us how to be better because we will listen to that as well. But please it'll help us get an honest and good view of what the listeners are thinking and feeling and want. And follow us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, and if you want to watch us and see all the images while we talk about them, go to YouTube and subscribe to us there. Just search Misfits
Smash
Tidbits.
that motherfucking like button.
Smash that fucking like button. Oh, I blacked out. I got into YouTube character for a second. And that's all the things, I think.
You too. Thank you so much for listening and or watching, and we will definitely see you next Monday for a brand new topic. Catch new episodes of Misfits and Tidbits every Monday.
Me.